Hey guys, JPF Aki, hope you're doing great. This is part 7 of the series Perspective in Action. And today I'm going to talk about listen while others are talking. Listen while others are talking. And when I talk about listen, I want to talk about something that's even more important than the listening. It's who you're listening to. And I'm telling you this because I don't pretend to know everything and I don't pretend to have achieved everything. So I can only share with you things I understand from my experience and that I believe will be fruitful for you. Everything else that I don't know, like I'm not good in drawing, I'm not good in a lot of other things, I will never talk about it. Number one, because it's not my thing. And number two is because I would do you wrong if I did. So take the time to verify who you're listening to. Not only because they have the fruits, like the fruits, you know, because sometimes it's very exterior what the people will project, right? There's a photo on Instagram that a guy did called Gary Vaynerchuk. You probably heard about him, super interesting guy. And it was very funny. It was a guy on a yacht called the SS Fake Life. And the person had a mask and had a bottle of champagne and a bag of cash, and he was on the yacht, but behind the yacht he was crying, right? And it was a very, very, very powerful image. And I kept that image because it made me remember that a lot of people might want to project an image that they're like that good or like things are going so well when internally things are a bit more complicated. So the reason why I wanted to stress the fact that you need to listen who you're listening to is because they're the one that are going to have a very big impact on your life, not only in the way you do things and your results, but also on the way you perceive those results and what you do with your results, and actually the internal feelings and emotion that you have about your life and how you perceive your life. And that's very important because, you know, it's easy to say, okay, I'm gonna have a lot of money and then life will be great. It's not true. Like, you could be very rich and miserable, right? There's a lot of successful people in Hollywood that suicides because they're not feeling so great. I'm not trying to judge, I'm just saying that there's a disconnect between money and emotion and great life. You could have both, but it doesn't mean that having money results in having a great life and being happy. It's totally different. So the reason I'm saying that to you is because the person that you'll be listening to, make sure that they have a happy life, that they have the right motive, they have the right heart, and then if they have the fruits at the same time, for sure it comes together. If you do the right thing, you'll have the fruits, but the fruit is not only money, but if they have money too, obviously it's great because then they could teach you both. So make sure they have both, or at least the emotional part is way more important than the money, because the emotional part, if you have it right, the consistency, the work ethic and everything else, down the road, them and you will have the right success. So I'm telling you this is because, and it's been 3 minutes I talk about that, listen to the right person. It could be a person that you meet face to face. You could go to a volunteer event surrounded by people that have, you know, the natural capacity or interest of giving. That's kind of the right people. You could read books about people that you believe in. You could watch their videos online on YouTube. You could register to their classes. There's a lot of ways to have access to that information of people that are the right people. So make sure to very, very seriously pay attention to who you allow to influence you. But when you find the right person, attach to them and listen. So that's the second part of this message. You know, I tend to believe, and I'm not saying that to be cocky, but that I understand things quite fast and that I'm smart. Sorry. I believe that it's, you know, for myself, but that caused me a lot of problem too sometimes, because originally I used to think like as if I understood what they were talking about, so I wouldn't pay attention and think about my next question. And I would miss the nuances of what they were trying to teach me because I wouldn't listen. I would think while they were talking because I thought I understood where to talk about next, go to the next subject. And I would miss on their wisdom. And this is very bad. And the moment I had a coach that was interested in me enough to tell me, hey, JP, stop talking. And not only stop talking, stop thinking while I talk and actually listen to the nuance, then you will start growing. And the moment I started doing that, I saw a very big difference, because then it was not, you know, taking his time to keep speaking to myself type of thing. I was actually listening and taking their experience. When I was reading a book, I was like naive and trying to understand what I was reading and what I could extract from this. And there's so much positive that comes out of that when you start listening to the right people. So it's a combination of both, right? Listen, don't talk, and make sure that you choose the right people that resonates with where you want to go. So on this note, I hope that helps. But priority number one, find the right source of information and the right people that have the right values that will get you to where you want to go. Don't chase the money, chase the values, the principle, and that will lead you to have the money that you want.